Hi everyone, please forgive me if my voice seems a little bit raspy. It seems like it's going out a little bit. I've had a long week and I need to rehydrate on some water. But I am sharing this video to let you know some things that I incorporated for Black History this month in my preschool setting. I am in a preschool group / network that I was very disappointed in hearing. There was this big debate that teaching Black history is not appropriate for preschoolers. One young lady commented she doesn't teach history of any sort. She doesn't discriminate, but she does not teach history of any sorts. They turned off the comments before I could properly respond. If you teach Thanksgiving, you teach history. So, bottom line, there may be some discomfort there. But I'm just sharing some things that you can incorporate that are age appropriate, the children will grasp hold to, in just super fun, super easy way to educate and inform our students of all the different contributions African Americans have had throughout history. I hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe. I wish I would have documented these moments as I perform them, because going back, I feel like I'm just kind of missing a little bit of information, but here's a little bit. I do plan on coming up with a detailed lesson plan / curriculum. There's been a lot of teachers who have, once they saw the photos that I posted of my daily attire or my teacher outfit of the day, asked me, hey, do you have a specific curriculum? I wouldn't mind buying resources from you. So I am going to tackle that eventually. Enjoy the video. Thank you. Hello, this video is going to be about teaching Black history in preschool. Children retain lots of information when we make it fun and engaging and exciting. A lot of our lessons, we use snacks and crafts and interactive games and activities. The first person that we covered was Jesse Owens. We talked a lot about integrity and how Jesse Owens did his best despite not having a lot of support from his own teammates due to the color of his skin. Also going to the Olympics in Germany where African Americans were looked at as being inferior. But despite all of that, he won 4 gold medals. We went outside and we talked about doing our very best, and everyone ran. Each student was asked after they ran from one point to the next point if they did their very best. And once they said they did, they received a gold medal. These gold medals I had that you can pick up as party favors from the Dollar Tree. I actually ordered a 24-pack from Amazon for our activity. But they love receiving the gold medals, and they understood that it's important for you to do your very best. Despite society, despite what's going on around you, you do your best. And no matter what you look like, no matter where you come from, no matter what's going on in your life, God has a plan and a purpose for you, and what He has for you will be for you. So you will shine no matter what, as long as you do your best. I wore my red, white, and blue, as a reinforcer to going to the Olympics. Also my sneakers, because we're going to be doing some running that day, just to help reinforce the lesson. They really enjoyed the activity. They could retell that he won 4 gold medals. They can retell you his nickname was the Buckeye Bullet because he was so fast. There's so many different facts that they can retell you to this day regarding our lesson. On a different day, we began to discuss Ruby Bridges and how brave she was and how she was the first Black girl to go to an all-white school. I created this shirt with gold foil vinyl to reinforce our lesson, letting them know because of her bravery, I'm able to be their teacher. I'm able to teach different races, different colored students. So we really talked about being brave and standing up for what is right, and how God can use even young children to accomplish goals and to make big changes for the nation. We did a little paper piece, Ruby Bridges, for our craft. We also had a watercoloring sheet that we created that we did for Ruby Bridges, and we read a wonderful story that I've read many different little books about Ruby Bridges, but a parent brought this one in this year, and it was very touching to hear a prayer. And at the ending of the book, it talks about the teacher noticing that Ruby stopped in the middle of the crowd right before she got to school. And the teacher wanted to know what she was saying to this crowd, because this crowd is yelling all kind of mean things at her. And Ruby said she wasn't talking to the crowd. And the teacher said, I saw that you were saying something. And she said, I pray for them every morning. And that just spoke volumes. Like, you should read the story. It's incredible. But if you are a Christian, you know that that was a reflection of Christ. That was a reflection of what he's done and so many believers have done. It was just a great tie-in and a connection. During this lesson, we talked a lot about emotions and how would you feel if adults were yelling at you every morning, crowds and crowds of people yelling mean things and saying they don't want you here, just reinforcing how brave Ruby was in this particular time. And how children can be brave and children can stand up. And so it's just really a great lesson on integrity tying in with Ruby Bridges. The following week, we discussed Garrett Morgan and how determined he was with his inventions, how he did not let the fact that he was a black man and a lot of people didn't want to buy his inventions stop him from creating different things. For this day, I did not have a red shirt. I cannot believe I didn't have a solid red shirt. So I did wear yellow pants, and I created a stoplight necklace to reinforce the theme. I kind of have a habit of dressing for the themes or trying to have a visual tie-in with my clothing for our preschoolers, and they seem to really enjoy it. So for this lesson, we talked about what a traffic light does and talked about it keeps us safe. Using some information found on a Pinterest anchor chart, we used the different colors to talk about his characteristics. The red meaning stop. Garrett Morgan never stopped making things. Yellow meaning slow down. He didn't let his skin slow him down. Green meaning go. He kept going with his inventions. It was really a great lesson. The kids, once again, retained these. We played red light, green light outside. We talked about the fact that he saw a really terrible accident is why he came up with the 3-position traffic light. We did a craft to go along with it. They had circles and they were to place those circles in order on the template that I designed. We had a special snack where each person had a graham cracker. We reinforced shapes with that. What shape is the traffic signal? They each got 3 M&Ms, a yellow, a red, and a green. They used chocolate frosting to create their traffic light, and they enjoyed their snack. The following week was a very busy week. Our school was doing our Spirit Week, so we had some spirit things going on, along with a special Black History Chapel. We also had a tea party going on. So the week of my tea party, we went over Wally Amos and the famous Amos cookies. The students got to take home the famous Amos cookies as a dessert. Also that week, we talked about Augusta Savage. It was also hat day, so I'm rocking my hat, but also I wore my crayon shirt, which it talks about diversity. And so to go along with the fact that she was an artist, that she was a Black sculptor who opened doors for Black women in art and also in sculpting, and how she later became an art teacher. So that was my tie-in there. Each student used Play-Doh and created their own sculptures that day. Next, we discussed Rosa Parks. I used a puppet stand and turned it into a replica of the Montgomery bus that is in the Rosa Parks Museum. This puppet stand was used as a photo prop in our special chapel, but also students who spoke about different facts pertaining to Rosa Parks also used it as a prop. In our actual classroom, we had a pop-up tent bus that the students were allowed to play in as we discussed the changes that Rosa Parks made by the bus boycott, allowing public transportation to become desegregated. The visual tie-in that day was my Nas shirt. I'll have the link in the description. Also, another person that we discussed was George Speck, most famously known as George Crumb, who came up with the potato chip after a customer complained about his fries being cut too thick. Crumb then sliced the potatoes really, really thin and fried them up and sent them out golden brown. And the customers end up liking them. So we had a chip sampling to reinforce this lesson. And the children got to sample different chips and allow us to know which one was their favorite. We did a graph with this as well. So there's many different things that you can do. Last but not least, I had way too much fun with this one. We discussed the Tuskegee Airmen, and we had a blast outside flying styrofoam airplanes and discussing how the Tuskegee Airmen, despite the military not wanting black people to serve and not opening any doors for them and not allowing them to participate in much, they kept their integrity, they kept their resilience, they stayed diligent, and they became the best of the best. So you can have fun, you could create crafts, you could do games, but incorporate Black history in your curriculum. This year I chose to use 8 different lessons. You can break that up doing 2 individual lessons a week, reviewing with crafts, reviewing with music, however you want to make it interactive. But it is absolutely age appropriate and can change generation after generation if we can just all incorporate Black history as just a natural part of our curriculum.